Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Thursday, the 14th day of March 2024. It is Thursday of the fourth week of Lent. It is the 25th day of the Lenten season, and it is also Pie Day. So happy Pie Day to everybody. Go eat pie, pizza, apple, blueberry, cherry, whatever it is, even a cobbler. National Pie Day today. Back in the United States after my 72 hours, I think it was, in Paris. As you can see, pine trees back again, blue sky and not the rain that was in Europe, as well as now in the country as opposed to the city life that was Paris. So it's nice to be back once again. So on this Thursday of the fourth week of Lent, Exodus, the episode where the Israelites have rebelled against God because Moses has gone up to the mountain and has not come down for weeks, months, what even, and so basically they have created a calf out of gold, and now they are worshiping it, and God wants to destroy them. Now, again, this is, is this a test, for Moses, that God, again, blares up in anger against the Israelites for something, surely, okay, that he should be angry about, that they're worshiping now a carven image of a calf out of gold and not worshiping God anymore, and neglecting the fact that God has done great things for them and saying that this calf did things for them instead and all kinds of things like that. Okay, it's all perhaps justified, but again, God is not like us, and yet God is acting like one of us. And so who intervenes to remind God of just who he is, of who God is? It is Moses. And Moses basically says, well, why should you destroy this people? Because then and this is where God is still understood at this point in the Old Testament as one of a number of gods that exist. And, what if the other gods or the other peoples and nations would then say, well, that this God took this people out into the desert just to destroy them? Will that give you fame and notoriety? And God basically changes his plan because he is more interested in fame and notoriety than the Israelites. And so it's a very interesting kind of, is it manipulation by Moses? Is it just telling the truth that Moses does? Is it God wanting in some ways to let Moses be able, to speak God on a very intimate basis, in a very personal basis, to remember who you are, God, so that we might remember who we are. Again, it's the Latin phrase, memento memorare. I remember that you might remember. And in the reciprocal remembering back and forth, we come to an understanding of who and what each of us are. We, the people of God, and God, the one who created us. That is what Lent hopefully has been about in many ways, for us as we move into this 25th day of it, 15 days left of the season, is remembering again who we are as God's people and who is this wonderful God for us. Again, this God who goes to great lengths always, not to want to destroy us as in Exodus, but a God who wants to bring us hope, to bring us life, to bring us peace, to bring us a better understanding of ourselves that we cannot obtain on our own. This passage from Exodus perhaps points us, to embracing that reality, embracing that truth a little bit more. John's Gospel, again, this is where the series of long speeches, not defenses, although, Jesus calls them testimonies. And this is where, again, to the Pharisees and the scribes and the Sadducees, all the leadership within Israel at that time, who are trying to reject Jesus again and again and again, reject the mission, reject who he says that he is, making him into something that he is not, and then plotting to kill him. And basically, Jesus keeps coming down to why do you persist in stubbornness? Why do you persist in obstinacy, in not being able to see and to witness just who and what I am and what's happening around you? And again, you refuse to believe me because I'm saying something that is different than what you might think and expect. If Moses were to say it, however, you probably would believe it because Moses was liked by you, because Moses, was understood to be, the one who gave you your power. And the fact of the matter is, your power comes from God, and you are not using that power properly. And so you are basically abusing God in not living out the way that you should be living as leaders, as people of faith, as people of hope, within this world, within your community. And that's something, again, for all of us, to kind of think about. Again, Jesus is always talking to leadership at this point in John's gospel as the tensions begin to build, the antagonisms begin to build. In many ways, it's not necessarily words to us as just regular people, but it is words to our leaders. It's also words to those who may, not be priests and clerics, but who may be laity, who think of themselves as being influential for the church and the church's decisions and the church's directions in many ways. Any power they have comes from God. And if that power is not used towards good and towards life and towards hope and towards healing, then it is not power that is being used well. And God can take that power from them because it is not right that they should possess it. And that is something, again, for us to always consider and for us to reflect upon and to be mindful of within our own ways of faith, within our own lives of faith. Again, what we receive from God. And this Lenten season hopefully helps us to be aware of all the more and the wonderful things that we can receive from God that should be put to use always, not only for ourselves, but for the good of others. A continued blessed Lent, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.